How fast do you want me to go?
Alright, stop it.
Alright guys, welcome back to the show. For those of you who are new, my name is Paul. I self-built my own Barndominium, and since we did that 4 years ago, I've been wanting to put a huge ceiling fan up in here, and I'm about to start doing that. And my wife and I found MacroAir fans, which is a company that's been around for a long time. They have an HVLS fan, which is high volume, low speed fan. They're known for their extremely efficient, low power use fans. They have a cool blade design. It's almost like a airplane wing, so it moves a ton of air with very little effort. So we reached out to them, said, hey, we know you do commercial fans. Are you doing any residential? And so they're trying to get into the residential line of ceiling fans. The fan that I'm putting up is an 8-foot in diameter fan, so it's pretty big, and we'll talk about kind of all the things I have to do. This is a fan that requires 220, but you can run it off at 110, but you have to have a step-up transformer, which they provided, and I'll show you how you hook that up. And the cool thing is it's got this really cool digital switch. So you can go in there and you can increase the speed of this fan in 5% increments. So I think it's gonna be pretty cool. But the first step is I have to go up in the attic, and I know I have a couple 2x6s across there with my electrical box on it. I'm gonna have to switch some of that up because this is not what I originally was going to do. So I just need basically a beam that runs from truss to truss. This is a post frame home, so I have trusses 8 foot on center. So I'm gonna go up there, pull the insulation back, see what I gotta do, build, make and install the proper beam for this fan to install onto. There's a bunch of different ways that you can install this. You can install it on I-beams. You can install it on basically big wooden beams. There's different ways, which I'll show you the way I'm going to do it. Actually, I'll show you the piece that I'm going to use right now. This is the quick attach, so you can see there's 4 screw holes. So I can mount this directly into a wooden beam, and it gives you the size of screws you need. So step 1, go up in the attic, pull the insulation back, and figure out what I got to do to get support up there for this fan. All right, so I got to make my way over there. I have walkways on this side, in the middle, and over there, but obviously buried, so I actually got this board I walk on to get over there. Alright, so my walkway is right here. Somewhere right in there is where my ceiling fan is going to be. So let's dig a path over there and see what we got here. All right, I got the old framing taken out, which probably would have been fine, but this is a really big fan and kind of heavy, so I brought in a 6x6 to go between the bottom cord of the trusses, and then I'm gonna lay a 2x6 over the top so I can extend it out over the bottom cords of the trusses. So there that is. That's the 6x6. Those are my other 2x6s I need. Do not ask me how I got that from there over to here. If you can tell, I'm breathing heavy. It was quite an adventure, but I did get it over here. I could have just brought in some 2x6s, which probably would have been a little bit better, and then laminated them right here where I'm at. But I had this spare true 6x6, so I thought I would use it. So now, go get my tools, some screws, and I already have a hole drilled where I need it down through, which will line up with the hole there. Get this all put together up here, and then feed my wires up through, everything like that. And then I can get all of that down below mounted and done. And then I just have to mount a couple boxes up here the step-up transformer, and then there's a cutoff switch. So if you have to come up here and deal with this, I'll have access from this walkway to hit the cutoff switch. But boy, that was quite a chore. So I'll be back in a minute. All right, here we go. Hopefully that ends up at 7.5 inches. Which it does. I like it. Needs to be 94.5, which it is. All right, now I cut these right here so they will fit down just inside the trusses. The trusses are 8 foot on center, so I cut these 94.5. Now what I'm gonna do is take this other 2x6 that's gonna go over the top of the bottom cord of the truss, so it won't let it push down on my ceiling when I set it in there, because this is pretty heavy. And then I have some structural lags that'll go in through the bottom cord of the truss into this beam. And then of course I can screw the top 2x6 into the truss. All right, now the hard part is going to be setting this down in there. Oh, that should be fun. See how that goes. Alright guys, so you can see how I did that. Got that set in there. So then my structural lags for my fan will go right into this 6x6, so plenty of strength. Now, I'm going to take a couple structural lags, go through the bottom core of the truss into that 6x6, just to really support it. You can see my hole goes down, so my wires, my safety cable, and everything will come up through here. Alright guys, so this is the option that I'm using. Direct mount to glue lam or wood beam. So the pieces I need here, I need 4 structural screws. These are 1/4 inch by 3.5. You can see the load there. So this is the equivalent to what they call for. These are GRKs, the one I'm using. They got a big washer head on them. And then here is the piece that I'm going to be screwing. So my screws will go right up through there. We'll drop one in there so you can see. You can see that's a nice fit there. So I'll run 4 of those up in there. Then the fan and everything, wires can get fed up through there. Once I get it all mounted, I can go up in the top and I can foam that in so it'll stop any drafts and whatnot from coming down from the attic. So I'm going to gather all my pieces, take this up to the ceiling, get it centered, mounted, and then we can take our fan drive, get that up there and get that hung up and whatnot. Need an extension. Come on. something. Now I'm gonna climb down. Oh, guys, need an extension, and I don't think I have one on me. Of course, I have one in the trailer. I'll be right back. Handy dandy extension. It's actually right where I thought it was going to be too. Oh man, this works out. So right above here, going out this way and going out this way is that 6x6 that I just put in between the truss bottom cords. So these lags went all the way up into that 6x6, and so this should be good and solid. Now the next step is put this drop tube on. So I get my fan on there. There's some little set screws that I can tighten once I know it's sitting nice and level. So you got one right there, one right there, one right there. So just got to get the bolts, and then the fan motor will actually hang about right here. Watch myself a little NCAA basketball while I do this. Perfect timing. So I'm gonna grab these other parts, and we'll get this installed. Alright, so there's a little piece that comes off where the hole is right here. And what that does is your power or your control wires are going to come down through that middle hole. And then there's a safety cable that will come down and will loop around here, so that if somehow this ever did come loose and fall, that safety cable will hold it. Something they do in commercial a lot. So all these fans come with them. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. I don't feel like this is going to come out, but I might as well put it on there since it's there. So that's what this little thing is. So I'm going to get these bolts tightened, and then I got to take my wires and my safety cable up into the attic and feed them down through this tube. And then I can pretty much finish all of this up. I can connect my wires here, get my fan blades on, get the cover on, and then I will be done right here. So then all I have to do is go up in the attic, do all the wiring, run my Cat 6 to my switch location, and fire this thing up. Alright guys, these 3 wires did have numbers on them, but when I pulled them through here, the numbers are gone. So that's a problem, because they have to be in the right place here. Right there. So I'm going to have to somehow check for continuity. So probably have to feed just a wire through here, hook it to one of these, and then take that box part up there and see which one's coming through, and then number these appropriately. I don't know how else to do it. The numbers are gone. Alright guys, sorry I got the basketball game on, but like I said, I pulled this through and the numbers got knocked off. So what I'm doing is I fed another wire up through there. I'm connecting them here then I'm going up in the attic and I'm using my tester to check for continuity. So got one, this is wire number 3. So I need to do one more to figure out what number wire this is, and then obviously the last one I don't have to do because it'll just be whatever's left. So a little bit of a pain in the butt. I got to go all the way up the stairs in the attic way over to here, but it's really not all that bad. All right, so up here I had to take this out, but these are the 3 black wires that come from down below. So here's the wire I fed up through. So turn my multimeter down here to the continuity test. And you want it to have, let's see if we can get this to focus here. You want it to have the little bell in the corner. It's right there. And then once we have a circuit, it will tone. So it might be a little bit difficult for me to do. So I'm gonna put, this is either number 1 or 2. So I'm gonna stick that in there. Nothing there. When I touch that, nothing. So we're gonna stick it over here in the second one. All right, so right there I have continuity, and that's in the second bay. So that should be wire number 2, and it is. So now I know the wire I have hooked up with this extra wire I put up here downstairs is wire number 2. So I have 3 marked. Now I have 2 marked, and the last one's obviously 1, so I don't need to check that one. So I can put this back together and then hook it up down below. A little bit of a pain, but gives you guys an idea that you can figure out what wire is what if they're not marked. This is a nice, safe way using a continuity test without having power on your lines. It's a nice, easy, safe way to see if you have a path and figure out what wires are what. All right, guys, now I'm hooking these wires up. You can see this is that little plate that is the safety cable, so that will go up and wrap around that wood beam I put up there. So that holds that, and then there's a little hole where the wires come through. So now I just have to hook up these wires. They're numbered 1, 2, and 3. Well, they were. That's why I had to do that continuity test. And so I can hook them up to the appropriate color here. And then this part will all be done. I can put my fan blades on, put my cover on, and then I can go up in the attic and do all the rest of the wiring. So that's what we're gonna do now. If you can see right here, here's where the wires come through. Here's the safety cable. And then those wires get plugged in right here. The directions are pretty easy. The green wire is obviously the ground. White wire, I put the number 1 black wire. Black wire, I put the number 2 black wire. And yellow wire, I match up the black number 3 wire. So that's why it's important that you know what number those are, so you know which color they match up with. All right, so I have all those hooked up. So now I can put this little cover on here, put my fan blades on, and good to go. All right, last step here, actually 2, is to put this cover on. Just 3 screws. And then I need to level this thing, plumb it, whatever you want to say, and tighten the set screws. Alright, so this is all on. Gotta get this kind of leveled everywhere. Get these set screws tightened. All right, guys, so I'll explain all this to you. So this right here is the electronic controls for the fan itself. This is contains the VFD, which is the variable fan drive. This typically is what the fan mounts to. So if you were mounting it to, like, say, an open ceiling, this would get mounted to an I-beam, would get mounted to a glulam beam, something like that. But in my case, I did not want this to be down below the ceiling. So I mounted this up here and then just ran the wire down through the hole. And right down below there is where the fan hooks. So I'll fill this in with spray foam now. But you can see I have a safety cable that I was talking about, and I drilled a hole through this 6x6 down here and wrapped that cable through there a couple times, put these cable locks on. And so if for some odd reason those screws would come loose, which I don't ever see that happening, but they supply this with their fans because these are mainly used in commercial. So I figured, why not hook it up? So I got that hooked up. But anyway, so this wire goes down to the fan, comes up here to this the controls. So from the controls, we have our Cat 6 in, and this goes over to our switch, which I ran down a wall over there, and I'll show you all that, which is ran off the Cat 6. So this fan requires 208 to 240 volt power. So since I have 110 volt power, the company provides a step-up transformer, which is this right here. So my main 110 volt power comes into here. They have a wiring schematic in there. And so from here, the 110 comes in, and then this goes over, and then I have a cutoff switch here that is fused. So I got my 2 fuses in there, so I can go ahead and push that up. So power comes in to the step-up transformer. From there, it goes over to this fused cutoff switch. And that is so if anybody ever needed to work on this fan, they could just shut the power off here, and then they know that they're safe to work on this all over here, which if you take this panel off here, it has all the digital control, like information and all that kind of good stuff. So you could actually run another fan off this. So you could run another Cat 6, take it over to another location, and have multiple fans running off of this. But we are all good to go here. The instructions come with a wiring diagram. So right here is it says right here, digital control panel schematic, and then shows you all of the proper wiring. All of this wiring is already done because this all right here is that box right there. And it comes with this already installed, so you just have to run it over to your cutoff switch. So if you're not 100% sure on this stuff, I would have an electrician do this part for you. If you are, and you're allowed to do that on your own, go for it. And then it also has the wiring schematic. Say if you were going to do this, this is new construction, you could install it so you're bringing 240 into this right from the get-go. So if you had 240, you could come right in to the shutoff switch and then not have to have this step-up transformer. So we are good to go. Before I button all this up, I'm going to go down to the wall and hook up the final power so that there will be power here. And then I will turn this on, and we'll see if this fan works. All right, we got the moment of truth here. Hopefully, power this on. All right, well, I heard the VFD click. So I should have power to my switch. So I'm gonna go down before I close this up to make sure everything is operating correctly. All right, moment of truth. All right, so far so good. Wall dirty, so fan diameter, and it's gonna make me set up my fan so it can optimize performance. So 6 blade, 8-foot diameter, which is what I got. It's gonna go through its automatic. All right, let's try it out here. Yeah, buddy. It's a pretty simple screen. You got forward, reverse, and then you can increase and decrease the speed by 5% increments. So clean the wall. Feel the air moving. Thing's barely even. It's awesome. All right, I'm pumped. Got this thing up and running, so now I can get all the insulation put back where it goes, put the covers on these boxes over here, and then I just got to clean up. But overall, this is not a bad install. Obviously, it'd be much easier to do this install if it was new construction and knew you were going to put this in, but even then, it wasn't too bad. All right, guys, so I'm super happy with how much air this moves. I've turned it on, and I've actually had it all the way on high, and it really moves a lot of air. So what we did is we rented a fog machine to kind of give you a perspective on how much air it's moving. So we're going to go ahead and do that test now, kind of show you how it moves that fog around, just so you can see the kind of air movement it creates, and then we'll close this thing out. How fast do you want me to go?
You just kick it all the way up.
Oh yeah, look at it, it's already moving it. All right, guys, that's going to be a wrap on my MacroAir fan installation. This is the 370 model, so if you guys are interested, you can check out the links below. We'll leave a link to their website and to the actual fan that I used. I'm pretty pumped up about this thing. I'm excited that you can increase the speed of this thing in 5% increments. You can also easily reverse it all from the remote. I would say overall the installation was fairly easy. The benefit would be if you knew you were going to use this fan from the get-go when you were building, you could run your Cat 6 wire to where you wanted to switch. It was a little bit more difficult for me because I originally planned for just a regular standard fan. I'm glad that MacroAir was willing to work with me on this and let me test it out. They're trying to get into the residential market. I'm amazed at how slow this fan can move and how much air it moves when it's on 5%. But like I said, check out the description for the links, all the information. As always, we appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, share us with your friends, and we will catch you on the next video.